All right. Pollo, chicken, gallina. What do you do with the whole carcass? Throw it away? Most people do. But I see dollar signs, I see waste, and I see sabor. So what can you do with the carcass? So for many that go to Costco and get those big rotisserie chickens, and then I see that they left all this stuff. There's all this meat in here. This is good to make a broth, bone broth, the gallina. So that's what we're gonna do today. Very simple. But then I also have a real chicken. You know, that mighty chicken that Costco makes, but it's uncooked. So if you've never seen a chicken, today's your lucky day. We're gonna cut out the other carcass and I'm gonna make bone broth. So I can have just like that, just sip it, season it, you can turn it into soup, get your noodles. When you braise this, there'll be still a little bit of chicken in there. If you wanna pick that out, strain it out. Or you can strain the broth, boil some rice in it, and the rice gets a nice chicken flavor. And then you got arroz con pollo, or boil the heck out of it and make a congee, porridge. Somebody is hungry here. All right. Zanahorias. What else we got? Media cebolla, ajo, apio, y eso es todo. Got it? So media cebolla, half white onion. This is all gonna go into the broth. Then we have some carrots, zanahorias, poco de apio. So you always want to wash your vegetables really well. So should I peel my carrots? I'm not. For like broth and everything like that. Scrub them really well, you know, and get all the dirt off, but leave the nutrients in there. It tilts like if it has erectile dysfunction. Then it's on its way out. What you do then, you do peel it because the peel will definitely be bitter by then. So don't let it get to that point. Will it make your broth cloudy? Not if you scrub them. I mean, think about it. Like if you're all dirty and you get in the shower, you know, the water gets all black. Same thing here. But if you don't like it, you can always peel them. So for that, yes, I do have a separate esponja or garlic. I'm just going to crush it and put it all in. So I'm going to do this, of course, in a pressure cooker. Olla de presión. Now, what do? You don't have a pressure cooker. There's a couple ways you could do this. One is in a pot, una olla grande, or so it fit. Put your mirepoix in there. Put your water, you know, anywhere from like 4 to 6 quarts. De ahí, bring it to a simmer and just let it go for a good 3-4 hours. And you're gonna have to skim it a little bit, get all that little gunk. I don't know. So put all your aromatics abajo. Yeah, I'm gonna add a bay leaf. You can do this without any mirepoix. It's just gonna be like if you're just doing plain bone broth. You can do that too, but then you can season it however you want it. So for this case, I do want some, you know, not like the chicken stock. So I do want all the nutrients. Again, with the garlic. Don't eat the garlic. I need it for the soup. Why do you wear gloves? You know, that one is a loaded question, but from my perspective, I don't want my hands to smell like garlic and onion all day. That's one. Two, when you work with a lot of acid and salt, it eats away your skin over time. And then it, you know, makes it all grody. So I hate saying it, but sometimes when you go to restaurants, if you look at the cooks or the chef's fingernails, oftentimes they're not a very pretty color. So we want the back, right? So you can follow the back real quick, of course. Oh man, make me look bad, dude. All right, well, I butchered my chicken, epic fail. So here's the back. Notice how there is meat on it, and then there's the little bones. So this is all money right here. So, you know, gotta use it. And for the chicken, so now that it's been affected here, what I like to do with this one, I'm gonna save it. So break it in half, break everything else. So this is the chicken I'll be working with today. This I'm gonna save. Probably what I'm gonna do is marinate it. I have some rosemary, garlic, olive oil, put it in a Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna freeze it. So then I have rosemary, garlic chicken the next time I want some chicken. You can freeze it by itself, but what I'm doing is like next time I want chicken that's marinated, I just got to take it out of the freezer and let it slack in the refrigerator for a day, maybe 2. And it's ready to go. And then this one, what we're going to do is a combination. So one of the things I said I don't like using is the mighty air fryer, but a lot of you do. A lot of you do. So what I don't like about my air fryer, sometimes it's not consistent. I also like a nice seared skin. Like when you get a whole chicken, sear it nice, crispy skin. It's delicious. So what I'm gonna do is sear this side of the chicken nice and seasoned in a pan, and then I'll put it in the air fryer. So I'll sear this side too real quick, basically so all the juices stay inside, and then cook it lower on the air fryer. I think I'm gonna probably go with like 325. And so with that temperature, around 325, it's not as hot, so it should still dry the skin, make it maybe even crispier, but cook through the chicken. At least in theory, that should work. In practice, I guess we'll see, because I've never done it that way. For our stock, get our water, and then we got to sanitize all this stuff again. All right, so our broth, there we go, 3 hours. So now we got our chicken, sanitize all this. All right, now we got our pollo. So what am I gonna do? I just gotta do simple. Sal, pimienta, see. So the way I look at it with the carcass, for those that love the Costco chicken, I don't know, it's like what, $5 or something like that? You're throwing away your next soup. You can make some nice broth, a few extra vegetables. If you want to flavor it, give it some nice nutrients. You're saving yourself some money, or you're stretching your dollar. Add in a few chili flakes. So I'll season this side, the other side, when I flip it. So when I'll put it in, I also like to press it down so I get my nice chicken skin. Before I do that, I need to clean this mess. So what can you really do with broth later? Is it really worth saving all the work? I think first off, if you're gonna just use the cooked rotisserie chicken, that's dollars. You paid for the whole thing. So if you spend another 10, 15 minutes, leave it in that, and then you have a soup, extend your money, and you'll get a lot of flavor. So at the end with the broth, you strain it. Like I said, you can season it, sip it, nice bone broth. It's a nice base. So if you want to add some rice, like chicken and rice, arroz con pollo, make a nice, how you would want to dress your rice, and then add some of that. It'll give it a nice flavor. So we're going to sear it, and then it'll go into the air fryer. Warming up the air fryer, but I'm going to do it around 325 and let it go about 12 minutes maybe. So you want to check it when it gets to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's fully cooked. Get out, let it rest. Because if you cut it right away, so le sale todo el jugo. And then you got we're gonna let it go for a little bit. Lower the heat just a little bit so it renders all the nice crispiness. I think one of the things I see, or I've seen, when you want to go with whole chicken like this, crank up the heat, and then the skin seizes. And basically it's like you're shocking it, and then the skin rips and it burns. So yes, you want a hot pan, but you need to let it go for a little while. You have to turn it down and let it do its magic. And see, when it's done, it won't stick to the pan. Now I'm just gonna let it sear on the other side a little bit, and then I'll put it in just like that and let it go 12, 13 minutes maybe. Go. Try not to rip the skin. Party foul. I almost lost her, the little leg. All right, so in she goes. Again, I've never done this, so we'll see how it comes out. Let's try it at 12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes at 3:30. So let's see how that comes out. Hopefully it comes out. All right, we still got 5 minutes. See how this invention comes out. In theory, it should work. In practice, I guess we'll see. What's the other question? Is it cheaper to do a whole chicken versus just buying the meat? Somebody was gonna ask that question. I don't know how to answer that one right now. I guess going back to money, waste, sabor. When you think of value, what is value to you? Because everybody has a little bit of a different use. I can say I can buy skinless, boneless breasts, and it'll be more value that I get the chicken, the meat. So let's just say I get 10 pounds of skinless, boneless breasts. I'm gonna get whatever, let's just say 8 pounds of meat to use to eat. Thing is, you don't get as much sabor. You have to find a way to inject flavor into the meat. You buy the whole chicken, yes, you're gonna have the bones and you're not gonna have as much meat. You have more flavor though. You know, you can sear the skin, use the meat a little bit more moist. You know, then you can take all the bones and roast them and make a sopa, broth. You know, the reason I only put salt and pepper and a little bit of crushed red pepper on this one, because I'm just gonna have a little bit of it today. It'll be leftover. I can shred it tomorrow and make chicken soup or make some rice, add the stock. I have a nice rice base, ya sea con the cilantro, ya sea Mexican style rice. Tiene ese sabor a chicken. And then I can reheat the chicken and add it in. And now we got our experiment to take out. Kind of nervous on this one. Let's see how it looks. Maybe it's all burnt. Smells good, but I don't think it's done. Nope, no way. Yeah, not done. All right, let's do 350 at 10 minutes. So it's not done, but it's looking like it's gonna be juicy. So going back to the Sabor point. So what is the value to you? You know, I think that is where you have to look at it as, you can look at it in terms of dollars, you can look at it in terms of sabor, or you can look at it in terms of waste. So if you look at it from the meat perspective, you're gonna get more meat from the chicken breast, for example. But from the whole chicken, you get more sabor. And then you can make a little bit more diversity. I think that's the key value, but you're also getting nutrients out of the bones. So you do like bone broth, you get the coagulant, which is really good for arthritis. You can make your soup, you can make a nice stock. So you can carry that sabor into other things, and you don't have to use as much chicken meat. But again, that goes to value in terms of how many people are you feeding, valuable to you. Like, do you want nutrients? Do you want just protein? Because if you just want protein, then yeah, go with the chicken breast. All you need is protein. But you want diversity, you want a little bit more nutrients in your food, go with the whole chicken. It is a little bit more work, but to me, there's a lot more flavor, más sabor. And if you use everything, every part of it, the waste cancels itself out. Because from the chicken breast side, there's not going to be much. You will feed more people per dollar. I look at it that way, per pound, but there's not a lot of flavor. I think that's the best way I can answer that. I don't know if that answered your question. I just heard the chicken explode. Right. That's tummy. I think it'll be good this time. What else? What else? What else? Stupid chicken sticking forever. Damn chicken, taking too long. All right, let's see how this goes. So right now, 30 minutes at 340 maybe, 50 right now, but 350. The other part is maybe this thing's underpowered. I don't know. Somebody might have a more powerful, faster thing. All right, look at that. I think this one's starting to brown now. Yep, it's almost there. So going back to my French days, another way to tell if the chicken is cooked, when you poke it, if the fluid comes out clear, it's cooked. If it doesn't, it needs a little bit of time, and it still needs a little bit of time. So this one is a little cloudy. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, there's like a little thing of whiteness. It's the protein. So it's almost there. I am gonna just turn it down, leave it down at 300, let it go, so it finishes it off, and then I'm just gonna let it set for about 10 minutes, and it'll be good to go. And that's because I know that it carries over. So what that means is that when you take out your chicken or you take out your meat, if it's thick, nice big steak, and then you let it rest, it's still cooking inside. And so as it's going, a general consensus for like about 10, 12 minutes, it'll carry over from like 8 to 10 degrees. So we're trying to get this to 165. And it's at 150 right now. Just gonna give it a little bit of a kick and then just let it all set in there for another 10 minutes and it should be cooked. I do the same thing in the big ovens. So I'll let the chicken, I'll roast it whole and then let it get to about 155 and then I shut off the oven and let it sit in there for about 15 minutes. So all that heat will help it come back and finish cooking. And then when you take it out, it's set because it's been regulated by the temperature in there. As the oven is cooling, so does the chicken. So, do you like the air fryer? No, it's the one thing I don't like. I don't like the air fryer. Would you do this again? No, taking too damn long. I would have just finished it in the stove or in the oven. I could do it in the toaster oven. it would have been faster. I don't know. Maybe it's a stupid air fryer brand or something, but it's definitely taking forever. So yeah, would I do this again? No, maybe in a different air fryer. But now I can see the liquid coming out nice and clear. So yeah, now I'm just gonna let it set in there. Essentially the keep warm button, just let the keep warm button in there. It's at 170, so it'll let it go nice and slow, and then you'll be done. All right, so does it work? I think so, it works, but we need to do some adjustments. Temperature, high, because it's taking, I don't know, over 30 minutes. And I could have done that on the stove probably about 25. So I don't know, call it a successful failure because the chicken's gonna be cooked. It's taking forever. So I don't know, maybe it is my air fryer. Maybe somebody has some fancier air fryer. Let me know in the comments. The chicken is cooked, it'll be cooked. Yeah, so let me know if you guys try this out, or maybe somebody has a better air fryer that does this thing a lot quicker. But for me, I do it the old-fashioned way on the stove. Toaster oven, regular oven. But the key thing is make sure your chicken cooks all the way through. You want it at 165. So if you cook it to 160, 162, let it set, give it a nice 10, 15 minutes. It'll cook over. So thanks for sticking around on my experiment with chicken air fryer, making chicken bone broth. So, like, subscribe if you're the first one here or first time here, you know. It's all about money, waste, and sabor. And this time, it's a big waste of time. Sabor is gonna be there. It's just wasting time though.